I'm now is it Jade Monet?
Yes, Jade Monet.
I'm a Jade Monet fan now.
I love it. Yay, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, I've been checking your stuff out all week in preparation for today.
Cool.
And it's really great to hear like bass lines again and like R&B mixing with pop really well, and just like all of these sounds that made me a fan of music and stuff in the first place. Hearing that on your EP, it's really refreshing.
Thank you.
I work a lot with YouTube rappers and SoundCloud rappers and rolled hi-hats and stolen YouTube beats. So it was a breath of fresh air, and I loved it.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
And that's why I want you to be on the show tonight. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how you put it together. I want to hear about how you got into music, all that fun stuff.
Amazing.
So you're fresh off of, this is your debut EP.
Yes, debut EP. Yeah, big moves.
Yeah, and it sounds incredible. Where did you record it?
So I guess all of it was recorded at my producer's studio, Da Womb.
Okay.
That's what it's called. But Da Womb. Shout outs to Womb. But yeah, the majority, or I think all of it was recorded there. So very, actually, much like this setup, very cozy, sitting on the couch, good vibes.
Yeah.
Easy breezy, same mic.
Is that your vocal mic, the SM7?
I love the SM7. Yeah. It just like really gets all like the warmness out of my voice.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, I have my own, so it's just easy to just bring. And I don't know, it's just, it's a good one.
I wouldn't have picked that as like an R&B mic. But
yeah,
being an engineer myself and obsessing over these things, like, I listen to the project on every system, critique the engineering as I do, right?
God,
I loved it. Like, it sounded so clean. That was one of the things I wanted to dive into a little bit. Like, it's so well recorded, so well mixed. Everything, just levels are so clean.
Yay.
Is that something you're involved in as well, like giving mix notes and feedback?
Yeah, Jamie Coos mixed most of the project. My producer Evan mixed a couple of the tracks, Pineapple and a Type.
Okay.
And I guess, I was pretty involved. I'm lucky both of them are so amazing, so it wasn't like a lot of critique or a lot of feedback on my part, but we kind of just sat with them like on either day and just kind of like went through the process with them.
Yeah.
But it was a really great experience. I mean, both are just amazing people. So it was easy to kind of, work together and get the product that we wanted. So
amazing. Yeah. I'm always blown away when I hear Jamie's work.
I know, right? And he's just such a great guy too. So
yeah, have yet to meet him, but shout out to Jamie and all the engineers of Vancouver that are doing really excellent work, like world class work. Honestly,
literally world class work, like amazing.
Blown away. And as far as like the production and stuff like that, you have like these are made for you. Is that like? Yeah, how it works, or
I'm trying to like the beats? Yes. A lot of the beats were actually just kind of made with my guitarist Jasper and my producer Evan. We would just kind of get together in the studio and just jam out freestyle. And a lot of the tracks, this like Pineapple, Woozy, A Type, like they were just kind of freestyles.
Yeah, okay.
That we ended up just keeping, and we're like, you know what, this is a vibe. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And then I also worked with another producer, Taylor Graves, down in LA, and kind of the same thing. Like we just kind of sat down and built the beat and wrote the melodies from there, and just and that's kind of how everything came together.
It gives the whole project like a vibe and a sound, as opposed to like cherry picking different beats from different people.
Exactly.
We brought all three of them together in our last outage.
Yes, yeah. We just came back from a trip to the States, and we had my guitarist Jasper, my amazing producer Evan, and then Taylor Graves, the other producer as well, who's incredible musician, and we all got together in the studio, and we definitely came up with some tracks.
Yeah. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
And so you've been on tour promoting the project, and you've been in the States. I saw you were in LA and Atlanta as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I played A3C, All Three Coasts hip hop festival down in Atlanta, which was amazing. I love Atlanta. This is my second time being there. And then I had 2 shows in LA, both at Hotel Cafe. So it was just kind of like a surreal experience the whole trip, for sure.
Good crowds.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, especially like in Atlanta, like it was just wild because like we would meet people, it's a festival and conference. So we would meet people at the conference, like on the street outside of the conference, and like tell people, hey, like I have a show on Saturday, like come out.
Yeah.
And people actually just came. Like everyone just showed up.
You're recognizing faces out in the audience.
It was crazy. Like I was like looking out as I was singing, and I was like, what the heck? Like it just was a bizarre thing. Like people just love going out and, love live music.
Yeah.
This also helps that it's like super hot and beautiful, like late at night too. Yeah. So it's like easy to be in a good mood and just kind of hopping around the live music scene. But it was just a crazy thing for me because I was like, wow, like I hadn't experienced that before.
Right.
And in LA, I played at Hotel Cafe, which is the room I played in is like a listening room. So it's almost like a theater in the sense that people don't talk.
Oh, really?
Like people are literally there just to listen. So that was crazy too because I really haven't had that, experience in Vancouver. Where like literally no one's talking. Like you hear a little whispered, like, "Can I get a drink?"
It's like a sumo match or something where the audience is just like dead quiet watching the performance.
Yeah, you can like drop like a pin and hear it, which is its own thing in itself. But it was just like, and Atlanta was like in the thick of Atlanta, this crazy club, like hookah lounge thing, club thing, and then like fast forward to the listening room in LA, like it was quite a different scene, and both were amazing in themselves. So yeah, it was great experience.
Yeah,
great experience.
It sounds like a really cool experience. I was curious, like, what do you feel like are the differences between performing in the States versus performing in Canada, and if there are any, or anything that like stood out to you as far as just the culture, the way that people are acting, the crowd response, things like that, like.
I think in the States, people have really high expectations just because there's so much talent down there.
Yeah, it's so competitive.
It's just insane. Like every single, person that was on, because I was part of a showcase for A3C in Atlanta, every single person that was on my showcase was incredible. Like just, and all female, just like super, it was just an amazing thing to see. And obviously in LA, like it's like the best artists in the world go there to pursue music. And so it's intimidating, but in a really good way, in like a way that it just made me realize how much like I have to work on, and how like if I really want this, that it's not going to be as easy as anyone thinks, which I love because it's a challenge, but I have confidence.
So really forcing you to like bring out the best in yourself.
Exactly. And humbling. So humbling when you're like watching these, some amazing artists who are just beginning like there. And it's exciting. It's very exciting. So
knowing that like any one of them could be the next thing, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you're in their presence, like, I knew them before they were them.
Exactly. Yes.
That kind of thing. So no, the States is on another level. It's the mecca really of entertainment. Period.
It really is.
So whatever you're doing, if you're a magician or a rapper or a singer or fucking an engineer, like the best of the best are down there. So I guess we can get a little bit, complacent and too comfortable just doing the same clubs in our hometown over and over again, same crowd, same the bartender, and it's just like, what's up?
Literally.
Like going across seas and trying to really break through.
I think it's important. It's just important to get out of the bubble that is like your hometown or whatever, city you're repping. I think it's just important. You learn so much. You realize that it's just so much bigger than your scene.
Sure.
And it's just, you're always going to like learn, and there's going to be like challenges in that as well. So I'm sorry.
No photos, please.
I'm just like, I know I want that fact, but it's like right in my eyes. Sorry.
All good. And what's a typical like preparation like for you when you're getting ready for a live performance? Like,
So, well, I mean, like in an ideal situation, I would like have a nice like sleep in, and like I just try to eat like really, really healthy that day. I kind of warm up my voice like as the day goes on. I like to already have like my outfit picked out, like all the set list is picked out, like everything's just kind of like, you know, nicely ordered and just good to go. And then I usually listen to some Selena as I get ready. Sometimes I have a glass of wine or a cup of tea, and then I just head to the show and just do my best. But yeah, like that's an ideal. Sometimes it's like a little crazy. Like I'll have a session earlier that day and I'm rushing home. But I still try to have like at least like a couple hours where I'm just like, okay, calm and deep breaths.
Yeah, can get in your zone, find your center. Is there a lot of like repetition going over, I don't know, dance moves or positioning on stage, or just like visualization of how things are going to play out? Anything like that? Like if you study the venue you're going to be at, for example, will it change? Will your preparation change venue to venue?
100%.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, like in Vancouver, it's like I've played a lot of the venues, so it's like I know what it's going to be like playing at this place or at Gilton Co. or Fortune. In the States, it was like a little different because I was like, oh, I don't know how big the stage is going to be. Because all of these things come into consideration, because sometimes I can barely move when I'm on the stage. Like if I have my band behind me, they're taking up space. And then there's stages like Fortune where I have all this room to kind of like dance and do my thing. So if I do have a little more space and I know that, I definitely like warm my body up. Like I just kind of like go through some dance moves and some light yoga or something before. And then usually if we have a sound check, we'll just kind of like do our biggest songs and just see where they take us on stage and stuff and how loud we can get. And go from there.
Beyond the band, do you have any background vocalists or anyone else on stage with you? Or does it depend? Or
not yet. No, not yet. No, just I'm the only vocalist. It's usually myself, my guitarist, my producer who does the tracks, and then sometimes we have like a bassist, Chris Wong, come in and perform with us. But right now it's just me vocals. One day I'll get to the background vocals.
the four girls on the mics doing the synchronized dance moves.
Right? Oh my god, I used to background sing, so that was me.
Okay, so you've been
I know all about it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So what was before this this EP? This is considered like your debut, first impression project EP. Was there a rebranding or things before this? Are they still available? Like, talk to me a little bit about the journey getting here, I guess. Like,
there were things there. It was definitely like a rebranding. I've been singing since I was 5. Well, actually I've been singing apparently since I was 2, says my mom. And I've been performing since I was 5. But I grew up on the Sunshine Coast, which is off the mainland, and you have to take a ferry to get to it. So very, very small town vibes, very small town feel. And I didn't come to the mainland until just before high school. And so before that, I was just singing, you know, at every church function or talent show or anything I could on the Sunshine Coast. And then once I got to the mainland, I was doing a lot of competitions, obviously talent shows, showcases, anything I could. And I was singing a lot of jazz because I have a lower register. And when I was, 13, 14, that gave me an edge on all the other competition goers. Sure. I was the only one that was like 13 and just could like really growl and do like the low stuff. So I was really into jazz, and that kind of changed into like more, I did love R&B, and then I decided to go to university to study writing after high school. So I studied writing, creative writing, and there I kind of was like, okay, well, if I want to take, music seriously, like I should maybe pursue another path, pursue music. And so I decided to stop with my schooling and move to Toronto. And there I was like really like immersed into like the music world like quite quickly. Like I got there, I didn't know anyone, and I just happened to meet someone who was like pretty just really ingrained in like the music scene at the time. So I was able to get a job singing as a backup singer for a local rock band who was doing really well at the time. And they were doing like little kind of tour around Ontario and to the West Coast and stuff. So between that and working with a rock producer who I kind of randomly met as well, I was very much kind of like thrown into the rock world, which was amazing. I met so many incredible people. And obviously being around that so much, working with a rock producer, shout outs to Dusty, who is amazing because he literally like taught me how to record and gave me endless hours in the studio to just learn.
Amazing.
But my music was reflecting what my surroundings were, obviously. And so I started just kind of writing more rock and more country, and a project came out of that. And I did put it out on the internet. And after I did that, I moved back to Vancouver, and that's when I met Victor, my current manager, and he kind of asked me once we met, he's like, okay, well, you have this rock and this country stuff out. Like, is that really you? Like, is this what you want to do? Because if that's what you want to do, that's great. But we really have to go like all the way. Like, you can't just be half country.
You've got to really make that decision.
You got to commit.
And
and I knew in my heart of heart, like I didn't necessarily like listen to rock or country. So I was like, okay, well, like I can write it, but that doesn't mean I need to sing it. That doesn't mean I need to be the artist that sings this music. I can kind of like put these songs aside and keep writing it, but I don't have to put it out. So after that, I was like, okay, well, what do I want to, like, what is Jade? You know, what is Jade? Because I had done the jazz, I'd done the rock and the country, and I was in choir when I was younger, so like classical. And it's been really difficult for me to narrow down my sound. So that's we took a year off once I came back from Toronto, and I took like more than a year and a half, to really just like dig deep and just kind of figure out like what I wanted, not what, people wanted me to make, what people wanted me to sound like, what I actually wanted to make. So that's kind of where we're at now. And I'm slowly more and more kind of defining that sound that is, Jade Monet. So it's a work in progress, but we're getting close.
That's good for people to hear that, though. I think that like, there's a million ways to say it, but that you were like true to yourself. And you know what I mean? Yeah. And you didn't just go with the momentum that you had with the background. You just kind of, you had to really like stop and reconsider the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because this industry is so difficult, and there's just going to be so many challenges and pitfalls and things. And if you're not really honest with you and doing this for the right reasons and truly passionate about it, loving what you're doing, I think like you're just going to fade away so fast. 100%. It's just going to be so difficult.
Yeah.
I can speak to that a little bit. Like when I met her, like I knew she was like really talented right away. Like I was like, I saw a few cover videos, but then I saw her sing in person. I was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like this girl's like crazy talented. And like the stuff sounded really good, the rock stuff. And I'm not really a rock person in general, like or like that type of stuff, but I can tell when something's good or not, And I knew she was like really good, but I was like, like I had a sense that it wasn't like fully her, and so I just was like, yo, like what is, are you really about this or are you not about this? And I'm like, because if you're not about it, like I know like I come from the rap world and like I know electronic, you know what I mean? I know a lot of like dope electronic people and I know those people, so I can go and like, introduce you to different people in that world. And I told her, I'm like, we're not going to put anything out for like a year, like pretty much. And she didn't really, like at first she was kind of like, what, are you serious? Like, and I was like, no, like you need to figure it out first. The music will come from there, it'll come once you like do that. And we just went and we worked with a whole bunch of different producers. Like I put her with some electronic producers, a friend of mine, Joel's, who's killing it right now. He's on tour in the US with R.L. Grime and Cali and all these guys, just killing it. But this was before when he was just first starting to put a few things out. Put her in with him. She worked a little bit with Felix Cartel. She worked with 604 Records a little bit, you know what I mean, on a few like little demo songs that just worked with the other artists I've always worked with, Messiah, Kai.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the studio, doing different things. You know, we went to the States, worked with Taylor, and like it was just he was just getting different producers with different things, so she could kind of pick and mesh and figure out, you know, like be exposed to different things and have different people show her how to do different things with her voice or try different things.
Right. Yeah.
And then from there, let her decide what, you know what I mean? Like how, and it worked really well. I just kind of like, in my gut, I knew that's the way we had to go. But like, I always made sure like, this is the way, you know, like, you figure out what's good for you, you know? So it's like, I'm not really directing you. I'm just like, gonna help you like, explore yourself in a way. You know?
Yeah, like a good parent.
Yes.
Seeing that a child is interested in something and helping them do that instead of being like
just guiding.
You know, you're gonna do ballroom dancing. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
You want to, you know, mix chemicals. Go do that. Like do what
do that.
Go do what you got to do. Like find yourself and do that, and I'll help you with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
That's great. So there's obviously like a good chemistry. You have a good team. You have a good relationship.
Yeah.
You feel like you have your producers and your everybody around you.
Yeah.
And that's a theme that comes up a lot on the show is, you know, having people around you that you trust.
Yes.
The team around you, you're only as strong as your team, right?
Yeah.
Helping you come up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean,
yeah, and it's definitely like, well, it's true. Like it's you know, I'm so much more than just one person. Jade Monet is like a whole thing now, and it's so important to have a strong team, but it's also important to have like the right team. And it's taken me a really long time to find the right people, but now that I have, it's like it's so worth it because everyone just fits so nicely together, and we can travel through the States and have insane schedules and X amount of shows and sessions, and everyone's just laughing the whole time because we're having fun. Like, and that's what it's about. And I think with the music industry, like I feel like people forget that so much. Like it just becomes like so serious and this competition and stuff. And it's like, really, if we all think about it, like why are we doing this? And it's because, well, like I love to sing and I love to perform, and you know, my guitarist loves to play guitar, and like that's why we're doing it. We're not doing it for any other reason. We're doing it because our younger selves, like this is our dream. Yeah. You know? So I think once I met the right group of people and team of people that were definitely like on the same page, like that's when things really start to click and to kind of take off for me, because I just felt really supported. And it's amazing what, you know, how people can grow when they're supported, you know? So it's been awesome. It's been great.
Just adding fuel to the passion.
Exactly.
Right? Instead of trying to take things from you.
Yes.
Right. Because that happens all the time in the music industry. Is people see somebody who's doing well and then they want pieces of it, and they'll put on an act to try and befriend them, or let me be your manager, or whatever it is. Yeah. You know, to try and ride that wave or get a piece of it
for the wrong reasons.
And then you end up with toxic people just smiling at you all the time.
You're like, very confused. But now it's like I've built up, like I know I have the red flags in place. So if someone comes into my circle and I'm like, oh, I'm getting bad vibes, and I just trust that, and I won't work with I just literally will not work with anyone that gives me those kind of like bad vibes, or I'm like wary of them, because I'm like, if I'm wary of you, then like obviously that's not a good sign. Like, so I just don't have the time in my day to do that now.
Good
like
for
I'm
you.
Like
cut. Tell me about the videos for the project. I've like I said, I've been studying your catalog. There seems to be like a lot of, I'm trying to choose the right adjective here, but it's very like art. They're like art driven.
Yes,
especially the is it Pineapple?
Yes,
where you did like the SpongeBob thing.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
which was so much fun. Like,
okay, I'm glad you think so. Good. That one was kind of unintentionally, well, I guess maybe intentionally controversial, because I don't know if you've seen Doja Cat's Moo.
I don't think so.
Okay, so Doja Cat, love Doja Cat, by the way. She kind of blew up after she did this kind of funny video of her. The song's called Moo, and she's animated it herself. She's just against a green screen wearing a cow costume. But it's just kind of like so absurd. It just like blew her up.
Yeah.
So with Pineapple, we're like, well, let's just do something a little cheeky, like a little fun. Like I hadn't released music in so long, and I felt like it was almost like this, not necessarily like pressure, but people were really waiting for it.
Right.
So I wanted to release Pineapple first because it's a minute and 30 seconds. It's just a taste. It's like, even if it's not your style, you're like, okay, well, clearly she can sing, and it's fun. It's like, it's whatever. Yeah. It's nothing you can hate on. And the music video, we're like, let's just do something fun. And my producer, Evan, he is super creative and funny. And we just kind of came up with this idea to do this stop motion SpongeBob. And we literally like just ordered aquarium parts and set up this little set in the studio. And Evan just like went online and looked up how to film stop motion. And then we filmed the video.
Oh, wow.
Like it was just it just fell together so nicely.
Learning while you're doing.
Yeah, learning while you're doing, which he is so good at. He is really good at.
Yeah.
We literally set up the set, like the whole set of like what we wanted the first scene to be, and then everyone's like, "Okay, just give me 10 minutes. I have to learn how to do this." And I went to YouTube and like watched a couple videos, and then like just did it.
And away we went. Yeah. So it was honestly like so much fun. I had never done anything like that before, kind of make a mini set. And then we just filmed my part on a green screen and just cut it together. And I definitely I thought it was, it's kind of cheeky, it's cute or whatever, but it definitely got a pretty insane response. Like on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, like everyone was really like loved it and understood the humor in it, that it's just fun. On Facebook, not so much. It kind of like blew up on Facebook, and I like literally had to just like hand over my Facebook to Victor for like the whole month, really, because like people were just like rattled, like offended. I don't know why. Just like someone, like one person compared me to cancer. Someone wished death upon me because they just thought it was bad, I guess. But it's not supposed to be like this, like film, like Oscar winning, like
it's experimental.
It's fun.
It's creative.
Exactly.
Wow,
but it was actually a really good experience for me, because it was like, wow. So first, we're out of the gate now, and I really got like a lot of criticism and a lot of hate like right away. And we knew with like the next song, A Type, we knew with the video, we knew with the song that it wasn't going to get that. It's like, it's just beautiful. It's nice. And so it was important for me. It was, now looking back, like I appreciate that the first song got a little bit of criticism because it's character building. It's good. Like I hadn't had people coming at me like that before. Like
firing shots.
Like shots to the max. Like, so.
It wasn't too bad. It was like, what happened is that I just ran some like video view ads on Facebook to certain like audiences. And I think people just were so people just took it way more serious than they need to. And it wasn't like people were like, I hate this. Like there was a couple people like that were just being haters, like internet trolls almost.
Sure.
Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, they're always out there.
People were just kind of like, what am I watching? Like they were kind of confused at first. And then I would just interact with them. I would literally just respond to people with SpongeBob memes and GIFs on her Facebook, and there would be people who were like, what the fuck? And then I would respond with some like funny meme, and then they would realize it's a joke, and they're like, oh, you know what, that song's actually kind of tight.
Yeah.
But,
and half the time I'd because at first I would see the comments and I was like, oh my God, every comment I got was like literally like a stab in my heart. I was like, oh. And then I'd go to the page, it'd be like someone like, go to hell. And I'd go to the page and it's literally like a 9-year-old. And I'm like, wow. How can you even have Facebook? You're not even old enough. So it's like, what can I, or I'll go to the page and it's like it's like a 75-year-old, like in the southern states, man, that's just angry white man. Like, just like, so I was like, the people that it just made me realize like, okay, like I can't really take it so personally. And because the people that are making these comments, like one of the girl shouldn't even be on Facebook, like she's too young for it. And
you're not old enough to have an opinion when you're 9.
Really, you can't say hell, you're 9.
So you got that out of the way.
I got it out of the way. Yeah. So, and it really does, like, it's unfortunate, but you do have to build like a thick skin in this industry, especially as a woman. And I am a very sensitive person, and it's hard. Like, it's really hard, but it was important because hopefully I won't get that type of criticism for a while, and when I do, I'll be ready and I know how to handle it. And I won't take things so personally, and I look back at Pineapple now and I'm like, I think it's funny. Like, I'm like, I like it still. So as long as I like it and my team likes it and the majority of my followers and fans like it, then like we're good.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about before about choosing the style, choosing what you're doing, and switching from the rock and things to R&B and pop. Like, you chose this and you chose to make that video, right? Yeah. Imagine if you were putting on an act, doing something that you're not really totally behind and getting that negative criticism, like where would you be mentally then?
Oh,
like,
what a great point. You know? Yeah. I didn't
at least you can go home at the end of the night and just be like, you know what? We fucking did that ourselves.
Yes.
YouTubed how to do it. We had fun. You know, fuck all these other people.
Yeah. And I look at it, I'm like, I don't think it's that crazy, but I love it. And that is what matters. And we knew, like, with the other video we did, which was a type, and that was shot with Heinz, and he is incredible. Like, he is just an amazing, amazing director. Like, he's just awesome. So I knew that one was going to be just this beautiful, you know, serene kind of,
like a dream, almost
like a dream. Like it went so well with the song. And we had Ennis Chung on, creative director. I know she has another word for title for herself. She's probably gonna get mad at me, but she was essentially the creative director. Okay. So she just like killed it with props, and she really just made it a dream. So yeah, it was just a really beautiful, beautiful thing. And we got so lucky with the weather that day when we shot it. It was just like the natural wind was blowing in my hair and the sunshine, and we were just like, wow, like someone really wants this. Someone up there is really looking out for us right now.
Down on us. Yeah.
So that one worked out really well for sure. Loved that one. That turned out really, really good. Where was the primary location for that video? That one was, where was it called? What was it called again?
It's called like Mud Park, I think.
Mud Park.
Basically,
okay. Yeah.
Like, when you're on the hot freeway out to White Rock in South Surrey, like off to the side,
okay,
where there's just like hella tall grass, and
kind of hidden almost.
There,
yeah.
Like the water, the tide comes in and out right there. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. If you're driving out to like South Surrey area, like it's just on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But it's actually a park.
But no one there to bug you.
Exactly.
No one to step into shots.
Like, there was like literally no one. Yeah. We were very fortunate, actually.
When you're putting together a project, you have your team around you, you have the musicians and things like that. Where do you get inspiration for your lyrics, and how do you go about like constructing a song?
So it's always different. With this project, with Awaken Dreaming, a lot of it was actually just freestyle. So like a type was mainly freestyle. So we were in the studio and I just kind of sang what came to mind, and I ended up just liking it. And I kind of tried to fit other lyrics in there, especially with Pineapple. But when I tried, it didn't fit. It just didn't flow like I wanted it to. So I just kept it as kind of just freestyle. And the other songs, like with Tell Me, I worked with Messiah on the lyrics with that one. And the inspiration just like really comes from everything. Like obviously what was going on in my life, like going through this kind of like digging deep year and a bit of like searching like who am I,
sure,
and the situations I was going through. And I really had to like make a decision if I really wanted this or not. And obviously I do. So in that decision, I had to kind of cut out a lot of, relationships in my life that weren't they didn't understand the amount of focus and, you know, sacrifice that I needed to make in order to really pursue music. So it was just a accumulation of just all these, you know, like feelings and digging deep and thinking about my past and everything kind of coming into one. And that's where the project came from, and all the lyrics and melodies. So mix of freestyle, mix of just like in the moment kind of what I was going through.
Yeah. When the song's coming together, are you, how much of your thought is put into I just want this to sound the way I want it to sound, and how much of it is considering the listener and how well will this perform commercially?
So I guess I usually think first, like, is this something like I like? Is it something, because that is so important, because like we kind of talked about, like, I don't want to be singing, you know, someone else's song on stage. Like I was a cover singer for a really long time, and I did that for a very long time, and it kind of sucks your soul out as an artist, because you're just singing other people's songs and you can only sing them as well as you know, to a certain extent, because you didn't write them. Like I didn't write them, and I could never fully remember the lyrics of someone else's song. I don't know what it is. Like I just can't. I can only remember my own songs. So what was the question again? I totally just
like writing it for yourself versus maybe toning it down to try and making a hook extra simple just because you think it'll perform commercially well, or this would be good on the radio, versus just this is the way I want to write it and that's the end of it, you know?
Yeah, I think we definitely, like, I write it the way I want to write it, and then we make some tweaks here and there so that it does come out like a little bit more, depending, now more so than ever, like we're just kind of considering you know, what's you know, doing well, but that doesn't come like too much into play, because all the tracks we've made have been very like me kind of based. So but yeah, I think as we like continue to make music, we'll kind of take that into consideration like a little bit more, but generally just make it for me.
Good. Yeah. I mean, because I have to ask, I've recorded so many people, and I've been doing this a long time, and it's always interesting to me to like see people's motivations of like why they're doing this. Like someone yesterday, I asked this young guy that I've been working with for a while, I was like, he's really struggling, and I had to ask him, like, what is your motivation? Like, why are you doing this? Why do you want to be a rapper? And like, just without thinking, he just responded to me, I want to be rich.
Oh,
like that, just boom.
Yeah.
And so I had a conversation with him.
Yes, good.
Just to try, not to like say this is right or wrong, but to just try and get into his head and be like, you know, where are you at mentally? Like, where is this all coming from? Like, what's the motivation? You know, like a lot of young artists, every cent is coming out of their pocket. They're working a day job at a construction site or wherever, and then their money's spent in the booth, and it's like, are you ready to take it to the next level, or is this just a hobby? Is this just you're emulating the guys you see online because you think it's cool to be a rapper right now? Like I'm always curious, you know, and I see a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I imagine.
But that's something that I ask everybody on the show, like, because that's why the name of the show is Demo to Limo. You know, it's like started from the demo. Now we're here under the bright lights of Los Angeles, you know, like, and what was your reason to get into this, you know? So,
no, I think that's beautiful. That's such an important question to ask. And I think a lot of artists, it's important to delve deep, right? Because when this artist you're talking about just said, I want to be rich, well, maybe, you know, if you think about why you want to be rich, maybe he can't like single mom, you know, maybe he had a single mom and he wants to, you know, fund her life, and there's just so many reasons, but it is important to like really dig deep and think about why you are doing it, because it's probably one of the most difficult industries to get into, and you will just get eaten alive if you don't have that inner fire and burning passion for it. Then you're just sorry, but
there's just, because there's far too many deterrents. There's just the criticism, the level of competition, just the oversaturation of everything. It's just like there's just all these things flying at you, bullets flying at you constantly,
every day,
constantly every day.
So much the music or just being talented. Like we were with a label friend of mine when we were in Toronto for Canadian Music Week, and they had heard her stuff, and then they came out to watch her perform, and they were all like, you know, you're super talented, and we were just talking to him, and he said something. He's like, man, like this is like a hard game, you know, like this shit is hard, you know what I mean, like. And I remember her asking me after, like, why does he keep saying that? You know, like, why? And I'm like, he's saying that because you know, you have your talent, you can sing, you can do all these things. Like, you have the talent necessary to, like, you know, approach the game or step on the field, right? But, like, there's so many other factors. You know, like, can you do interviews? Can you perform, right? Like, can you, like, deal with the hate on Instagram or whatever? Can you deal with
long nights and
messaging you on Instagram all the time? You know what I mean? Like, can you deal with just like can you deal with being away from home like for months at a time? Like
really good points.
Yes.
Totally.
Living on the road. You know what I mean? Like, you're never comfortable in your own bed. You know what I mean? You're just dealing with what
new environment every time.
Yes.
Yeah. Things come up. You know what I mean? You have to do all these things, and it's like there's so many other things that make it difficult. Like, just being good doesn't really mean anything, right? And there's so many good artists that we see, like, start off well and get all this buzz and hype. And for whatever reason, it just never, like, breaks through a level that everyone expected. And it's because of this stuff. You know what I mean? It's because they go on the road and they start doing drugs or they start drinking all the time. Or they're too young and they're not ready. And you know what I mean? There's all these things that contribute to it, and if you can't handle all that stuff, like, you're going to get swallowed by it. And like, if you do, like, you might be able to come back, but it's like a long road and a very difficult road, you know what I mean? Like,
well said.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it does, like, talent is common in a way, but it's like being the full package is not.
Yes.
Having all of those things you just mentioned, and then getting to that level, and then being like, okay, this is everything I wanted. Can I actually deal with it now?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Totally.
Like I think about these, you know, like the elite of the elite, like the Drakes and the Travis Scotts and the guys up at the upper echelon. Like, and I think about some of the guys I'm working with, and like, you know, have you considered what their day to day must be like? Like the amount of pressure to deliver the next album now, or like the amount of just people that want that spot that are coming for you.
Yeah.
Like, do you want that pressure? Do you like the girls and the money and all that's one thing, but like all of it, it's all encompassing to be at that level. And like, are you really ready? And I guess, and you know, time will tell. You will be tested.
Oh,
right?
yeah. And I definitely think that there's one thing in common with Travis Scott, with Cardi B, with Drake. Like, they're meant for what they're doing.
I think so, too.
There is no other path for them. Like, what would Travis Scott do other than what he's doing? He's meant to be.
Born to be famous, essentially.
It's his, and he has worked his ass off, and he is his own, you know, like his live show is incredible. And the same with Cardi B. Like, she is so much more than, she's like a whole brand, like her personality, her hosting, like just, they are meant to be. And I think like they, you know, if that is your destiny, then you will stand all the criticism, you will stand the test of time, and you will end up on the other side and be like, okay, well, yeah, hell yeah, I can do this. Like,
yeah, because we just tend to just see the finished product too much.
Yes.
And not, you know, appreciate the hard work that goes into
and the
getting
journey.
to that, the journey, all of the, you know, speed bumps or whatever you want to call them along the way.
100%.
And that goes back to really wanting to do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's easy to just kind of like, you know, get like a little lost and have that kind of carrot you're always chasing, like the end product that is important to keep in mind, like those goals and stuff. And I think like it wasn't until, you know, the last 1.5 2 years that I personally started enjoying the process and enjoying the journey. And that's really when I realized that I'm already winning. Like, obviously I have these huge goals, like end goals and stuff. But currently what I'm doing in my day to day, like I'm already like here, like I in my eyes, I'm like, I'm made it. Like I'm working on music every day. I get to sing. I get to meet new incredible artists all the time. I get to sing on big stages, little stages, intimate, you know, in the States, across Canada, and hopefully in the new year overseas and off to Europe. And it's just like, it's for me, like, this is what I wanted. Like, if the other stuff comes with it, that's obviously incredible. But I'm just at a really kind of happy place, like within myself. I'm like, wow, like I got myself here. Like a lot of people couldn't make it to where I'm at right now. And that's at this like beautiful, like harmony of just being happy with the journey and being excited about the journey. And just appreciating it, really. Yeah,
I don't think I could have said that better myself. That's how I feel about what I'm doing as well. You know what I mean? Like being an engineer, the whole studio journey, right?
Yes.
And then I look at the guys that are at the top, and I still have, like, my ego still wants to be the best, still wants to get to that level. But then when I slow down and think of, like, what I was doing 10 years ago, and like I didn't have any of this, and I you know, like how far my skills have come and things like that. Like it's like what you said, just really enjoying the journey is so important, and realizing like every day I get to do what I love to do, and that is winning, like you said.
Because this is our life, like this is life, and obviously the end goals are so important and stuff, but like we can't forget to live. We can't forget to just be happy and enjoy. Yeah. So that's, you know, that's where I'm at. And I'm glad you are too. Yes. That's amazing. That's a beautiful spot to be in.
It feels so good. Like I call this Disneyland. Like Studio B is Disneyland. I like it.
Oh my God, I'm at Disneyland.
You know, it's a lot of, you know, hard work and dedication is a big word, you know. Yeah. You know what that's like, being as far as you've come and getting to where you're at. Like, it's so important. Yeah. Just dedicate yourself. You have to go through those, like the self-doubt and the, you know, comparing yourself to someone else and wanting to give up because they're so much further ahead than you. Yeah. Things like that.
The comparisons, they'll kill you.
That'll kill you. That's the worst. But yeah, just it's so cool just to, I get to do this, you know.
Oh yeah.
Not every single day. I still have a day job, still pay the bills, but you know, like the grand scheme for me is studio it would be everything, right? Just like a lot of artists want to ditch their construction job and make money just going on stage, just touring, and like I get to see that. I get to not only live that myself, but have people come in and share that same dream. You know, a lot of artists coming in that are more and more all the time now that are higher levels of commitment and enthusiasm and dedication, and it's so great to be around people like that. Like-minded, driven people.
It's inspiring.
Creative people. Any one of these, you know, the people coming through 2-track, I feel like could be the next, you know,
Travis Scott.
The next thing at the Junos, you know.
Oh yes, I like it. Even local, I like it.
Yeah,
and they probably will be. Let's be real. Like everyone's working really hard, and
there's so much going on in the city, which
my gosh, it's amazing.
Yet to be discovered.
Yeah.
So and
it's on the brink.
Yeah, on the brink.
It's bubbling.
And it's great to be in this position to be able to talk to people like yourself, upcoming artists from here representing the West Coast, representing Vancouver, that are, you know, that are destined for great things.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I really can see it, you know. Not everybody, but there's gems, there's hidden gems.
Oh, for sure. And I think it's, you know, it's not a matter of if, but just when now, because there's so many amazing artists, and I feel like a few people are just gonna like kind of like pop off. You know, like it's not necessarily just gonna be one person. There's just so many talented artists here, and it's just insane that it's, you know, it hasn't popped yet, but once it will, it's just gonna be this snowball thing, and then everyone will know where Vancouver is, because like we go down in the States, no one knows where Vancouver is. I just say Vancouver, Canada. I don't say Vancouver BC, because that's like, no, they'll never know where that is. In LA, like maybe some people. Atlanta, no.
Oh, forget
no
it,
one.
yeah.
Still in LA, like you just get up people all the time. It's like, oh, I have a friend in Toronto.
Yeah, all the time. Oh, you must know so and so, and I'm like, where do they live? And they're like, oh, Toronto. Yeah, and then they're like shocked. They're like, really? Wow. I'm like, yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for Jade?
Well, it's just finishing kind of, in the States, we were writing like crazy, recording like crazy. So now it's just kind of cleaning up all the songs and continuing to write.
Oh, so but you are actively recording new stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Working on
yeah.
new. Oh,
yeah,
amazing. Okay.
Yeah, I can say that, right? Yeah. Okay. I was like, but yeah, like, man, like I don't even know how many, I like try to count how many songs we came up with, like, cause I was working with lots of different producers in the States, and man, like I don't even know how many tracks.
At least 10 song ideas, like solid song ideas.
Yeah.
We're started, they just need to be like refined.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing right now.
There's a lot more other sessions upcoming that's going to produce more stuff. So
yeah. So just kind of continuing to finalize these tracks and continue to just kind of do like a cycle, kind of just repeat almost what we did, and just continue to release more music. And with every project or with every single I release, it'll get more defined, and then hopefully, and then I do have some shows coming up as well. I'm going to be performing a lot actually in the next little while. When does that start? That starts on Friday with an amazing UK artist who's come over to do some networking and to do some shows, Movi. He's just incredible. Mm-hmm. So I'm joining him on a kind of like local tour thing. We have shows starting on Friday, and all the dates are on my Instagram at Love Jade Monet.
Perfect.
But we have a finale show at Fortune on December 2nd, and we'll also be playing with Glass Forest. They'll be joining us as well. So yeah, just lots of shows. We have some more shows in the new year booked as well. Just continuing to just work on my live performance. Mm-hmm. Performing and being on stage is just as important to me as the writing side of it and the song and the recording.
Yeah.
So anything I can do, any stage I can get on, like I love. So just a lot of performing, a lot of writing, and just kind of continuing to build what we've started.
Yeah, carrying the momentum.
Exactly.
And
keeping the wave going.
Busy. Yeah, keeping the wave going.
That's the key, is just continuing to just, you got to keep busy. You got to continue to book shows and meet new people and travel and just keep going and never stop.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we have merch that we're going to be launching on Friday, I believe.
Exciting.
So we have some amazing t-shirts, the cover art for A Type, which Chrome Destroyer, the artist Chrome Destroyer, did all the artwork for my singles. Okay. So for A Type, Pineapple, and Erase Time. So we took the artwork for A Type and we put it on a t-shirt. It is so freaking cute. I love it. It's like this little heart.
Okay.
And then we also have some shirts that say Awaken Dreaming, which is the title of the EP. So yeah, that starts to go on sale on Friday. So lots of things kind of happening pretty quick here. So I'm ready.
Where can people get those? Is that linked on your Instagram, or is there a website?
Well, there will be a website. We're just kind of putting the finishing touches.
Okay.
Launching it Friday, like for Black Friday, and kind of doing some promotions over the weekend on her kind of like online store and website. She doesn't have any website or anything right now, but we're kind of launching it with.
Launching it all at once kind of thing.
And,
yeah. And then obviously I'll kind of direct people there from my social media platforms like Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll share all the links.
It's a good hub.
It's a really good hub.
Instagram's so good.
I know. It's literally like, it's when we go to these conferences, it's like, it's your resume. Like people don't ask for a business card or anything like that. They literally just like, what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram? Yeah. You don't exchange numbers, emails, nothing. It's just, what's your Instagram?
It's funny because I don't think when they designed it originally, they thought it would be what it is now.
Oh, I don't think so
either. It's just people taking pictures of their cats and picking a filter. Yes. And now it's like the internet resume for businesses, creative people, you name it, right? It's amazing.
It's huge. And I look at it like, because social media is kind of, it's a side of music that a lot of artists like don't realize like how important your social media and engagement is. And it was hard for me at first because it's like, I just want to sing and write and perform. And I didn't realize like how much time you have to really spend in engaging, all of the social media platforms now. And there are so many, like there's TikTok, Instagram, you got to be on your YouTube, like you got to just really keep everything up. So it's like, you have to devote a lot of time daily on all of those platforms. But now I look at it as like, before I kind of let it overwhelm me. Mm-hmm. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, it's really a world stage. Like that is your stage to the world. Like I have followers from Japan, from Norway, from Germany, and they comment on every single one of my posts, and they are so diehard. Like, but I would have never been able to get those fans or followers if it weren't for Instagram or for YouTube. Like, it's your stage to the rest of the world. Yeah. So it's so important.
Oh man, yeah, exactly. It's like a stage or a window from anywhere on earth into this person, this artist. You can curate your vision, right? In one spot. Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that because I wanted to ask you like how you go about that. Do you have a lot of artists, bigger artists, bands, for example, that can afford somebody to be like my social media, my online person? Is that mostly you doing that in your spare time day to day, or?
Oh yeah,
it is,
I literally like put time aside each day to work on my social media. So it's me. Unless I get, with Pineapple, when people are getting a little nasty, then I pass my Facebook off.
Yeah, sure.
But other than that, like everything is me. And I try to reply to every comment, every message that I can. And it's been really wild because I didn't realize like how quick it would get to the point it is now where it's kind of too much. And I was spending, I do like an hour at the beginning of the day and an hour at night. So 2 hours a day just replying to people, not posting, not doing anything, just simply engage, like responding.
Yeah, fanning interaction.
And exactly. Yeah. And it was just starting to take away from my own personal time with myself and self-care. And I just kind of had like a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, like it's too much, and it was overwhelming. And then I just realized that the answer's simple. I just kind of do what I can, and I take a step back and I take a deep breath and just appreciate the love and get to it when I can and just do my best, really. So
you never want that to take away from creativity of writing new material, right? Like if that becomes like a burnout, then you've got a problem.
Exactly.
Got to that point for a second, I was like, look, like it's great to talk to these people, to engage with them, but like you don't have to talk to anybody. Like it's not like you know what I mean? Like you don't have to like go and be this person's counselor when you're just like, fuck, I don't want to be on this right now. You know what I mean? It's like it's not your responsibility. Like, you want to engage with people, it's good, but like some people it's in a never-ending conversation, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, like, all right, like at some point here you gotta like step back and like not just be there for everything, for every moment, you know what I mean? And it's like a hard thing because you want to be, but you can't, like you literally just can't.
You can't, literally.
Sometimes I get the impression that people that are looked up to, that are in the spotlight, whether it's an athlete or an actor or a musician, artist, that their fans feel like that person owes them something. Like,
right.
What do you mean? You're famous. Like you're supposed to reply to my fan mail. Like that's your job. Like, like sign my photos and send them back to me. Yes. This is like, you're on that show. Like you're famous.
Why are you famous then?
Well,
this is what you're supposed to do.
But then they're also forgetting that that's a human being.
Exactly. And a lot of people forget that.
That's a person as well, and they've got to take a shower and pay their bills and call their grandmother and all these things. Like
they have their issues going on. They have life,
issues, there's this idea that like famous people are like not a human. They're like they're like real. A star. They're not real. They're larger than life, or like invincible somehow, or just different. Like, which is not true.
Oh my gosh, so not true. So not true.
So you're getting a little taste of that.
I'm getting the first taste. I just didn't think it would be so early. But I'll take it.
Well, like we said before, these things are happening for a reason. You had your blast of hate for the video, and you're getting a taste of a lot of attention and being in the spotlight and all these fans like quickly and just coming to you naturally and being tested. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it seems to be going okay so far. Yeah.
I mean, I like, for me, this is my path. Like, I've known since I can remembering. Like, one of the first things I remember is just being 5 and literally thinking, yep, I'm going to be a singer. Like,
wow.
I'm this. No and way. I knew, like, I just have always, like, I've been doing Grammy speeches since I was like 6 years old. Like, I literally have like always envisioned and always just put this out into the universe. And there is no other path. I mean, I tried one time to quit music and I still did music. I just changed my mindset. I was just doing it for fun instead of doing it for work to pay the bills. But yeah, like this is it for me. Like this is, I'm not giving up.
You've tried and you still can't escape it.
I can't. Yeah. It's just who I am. It's my journey. And now I look at it, I'm like, there's a reason why it's been in my life, the forefront of my life, forever.
Yeah.
And it's for me to try, at least try, like, so I don't have to think like, what if? And now I never have to think that ever. And I think that in itself is winning because I don't have to be on my deathbed being like, wow, if only, like,
if only I tried singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're all in.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
I am all in right now. It's a crazy feeling, but it feels right. It feels
that's good.
This kind of chaotic calm because it's like everything's kind of happening and going on and starting, and I'm just right where I'm supposed to be, and it's happening exactly when it's supposed to be. So it's a really amazing, exciting time for me right now.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. I'm rooting for you too. Like,
let's let everybody know one more time where they can check you out online. It's just at Jade Monet on
at Love LOVE Jade Monet.
Perfect.
Yes.
And big things coming soon. We will make sure that we're gonna share all the new highlights, things coming up. You got shows coming up.
Yes.
There's top secret songs coming out that we can't talk about yet, but they're
coming.
The lyrics are there. The beats are being put together, so it's going to be exciting.
We got something coming out soon.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yes, okay. We do.
Like before the end of the year, there's going to be something coming out.
Yeah, there's something coming out before the end of the year.
Look out for that. Cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing.
This has been super fun. Hopefully, the fans have gotten a chance to see a different side of you and hear the honesty and the passion and all the things that I think are so important. So you're a poster child for this show. I think you really encapsulate the whole meaning and embodiment of the artist.
Thank you.
So Jade Monet, everybody, thank you, and hope you're having a fantastic week. We will talk to you soon. Peace.
Thank you.